Hi. All right. Hey, you guys. Glad you are here. It is Monday, October 13th already. Good to see you, middle of the month, and we're going to have a good time tonight. I'm glad. I'm actually really liking this size group that we have. We're going to talk tonight about social media, personal branding. How do we start talking about metabolic health, sharing our message, and then how do we keep up with this, what is happening so fast in the social media world? I'm glad you guys are here. I see you. See a couple faces I haven't seen in a minute. Good to have you with us. And I'm curious who, just for fun, who has tried the Optavia new soft pretzel yet? What do we think? Good? Liking it? Awesome. Have you been talking to your clients about it, or have you shared with your clients or inactives about it? You can come off mute.
I need to work on my pretzel flipping thing to make the nice little bow.
You can always make pretzel nuggets.
I made a pretzel stick like Kelly. I saw Kelly.
Yeah. Well, I was funny because I saw that. I'm like, that's asking a lot of people to create a pretzel shape. So,
Agree.
yeah. Yeah. And then you guys know about the strawberry shortcake bar?
Yeah.
That is out today. So that is an Ascend mini meal. So I'm excited about that. So talk that up as well. Not ideal, it's for definitely for GLP-1 users, people in optimization and maintenance. Not necessarily ideal because it doesn't have the fortification that a regular fueling has, but it can be if somebody really wanted to use it on the 5-in-1, they could cut it in half and use it on the 5-in-1. They're just not going to get their full probiotics and nutrients by doing that. Like I said, I wouldn't actively encourage it, but if you see somebody accidentally puts it in their order or something like that, that's how you can work around it. So, all right, let's talk some tonight about your personal branding, kind of really stepping into who you are. How do you want to show up on social media and your presence? And that's even when you're at events, et cetera. Like, but what kind of person do you want to be? How do you want to show up? And maybe how are you showing up? And then how could you show up that would maybe create more impact? Um, because people really crave authenticity, they crave realness, they crave you, right? And we have a huge opportunity, especially as our company is evolving really with the messaging of overall health and metabolic health to stand out in the marketplace. And Vicky Meister, maybe you can pop in for a minute about your share and what happened when somebody reached out to you.
Yeah, this is kind of fun. I don't know if any of you have seen it, you know what I'm talking about. But I basically have been doing videos about metabolic dysfunction. I did one with just an explanation of what it was. Then I did one with 6 common symptoms of it. And then the last one is today, which is created, but I haven't posted it. I'm going to do that after this call. But one of my clients who had asked me a little bit, but not much about it, because that was kind of our topic in our call last week, called me, called me today to say she went to hear a speaker, and the speaker is a retired physician who said to everybody, the thing every one of us need to be paying attention to is metabolic dysfunction. We heard nothing about it in medical school. I don't think they're talking about it in medical school now either. Again, he's retired. But she did, it was like such a huge validation for her. And now she's really tuned in to what I'm saying. And so it's very, I mean, it's out there. And I have a doctor's appointment tomorrow for my physical, and I am going to ask him about it and see kind of what he says, what his thing is. But anyway, it's I think Dee, you said it's actually a huge audience for us if we choose to do it.
Yeah, it really is. And thanks for sharing that. I mean, here you have a physician saying, hey, we need to know more about this. So I think, as with anything, I mean, we want to go out and position ourselves, right? Like we are the leaders in this, but we're also learning. So it is okay to be able to say, hey, you know what all the evidence is showing and talk about is around metabolic health and metabolic dysfunction. Here's what I know so far. Right. Here's what I've learned so far. And so it is okay because I know sometimes we'll think, I can't do this until I'm an expert. But I would say allow yourself to be a beginner, allow yourself to learn. And people are more attracted to people who are curious about things, who are learning than being talked at or being talked to, right? More of a talk with individuals. So I think that is huge. And right now, if you kind of had to describe your personal brand, like how you show up on social media right now, you can pop it like a one sentence or a couple of words in the chat, right? Like about, or you can come off mute. I don't care either one. About how do you show up right now on social media?
Can you give an example?
Yeah, like I would say I like what I think I do. And I know that there's room for improvement and ways I want to involve. I like to come back as somebody who I always like to be a light and an inspiration on social media. So I like to be a person who is authentic, who is real, who is showing what's possible. Whether I'm showing my personal life and travel, relationships, business, a topic on health, that I just try to be a light and not making people feel bad for where they are or whatever, but to provide hope for people. So that is the messaging, the way that I want to brand myself is that kind of person. Does that help? And if you feel like, okay, I haven't really done a good job at that, it's okay to say that. Or have you been fearful about really stepping into who you are? Nobody's going to talk to me. It's okay. It's okay.
We're putting lots of things in the chat, Dee. I don't know if
Oh, you know what? I was off. Somebody had sent me a personal message. Okay, awesome, awesome. Thank you. I was like, what is happening?
the chat's
Um,
been blowing up.
yeah, it was like the air was coming right out of my balloon. Okay, it was over here in the everyone chat. Okay, cool. So Meg, yeah, I think you do a great job. My goal is to be positive, helpful, fun. Frank does a great job with consistency. Real, showing successes and struggles. That's great, Nicole. As cheerful, hopeful, celebrator of others. Julie, encourager, you do a great job. Provider of hope and wellness all around. Um, Publishing on Substack, LinkedIn, and Facebook. Great about yeah. So really posturing with that expertise. The store is always open. I like that, Connie. All right, positive and encouraging information, optimistic, bold and consistent. Yeah, that's wonderful. Good, great things. Great things. What's going to always win, and I keep being reminded every time I go in and do more research on this, what's always going to win is your personal journey, your personal story, who you are, always wanting to make sure we're tying that in. And if you're looking to build this business, if you're looking to grow, that there is plenty that's posturing that you are a person of health. You may not be perfect on your journey, but making it real clear who you are. People are going to be more attracted to your imperfections and the fact that you're still on the journey than posturing or making it look like you're perfect when on the inside you're kind of dying on the inside because you know you're not being real about it. So, I think that something I read the other day was, and I posted about it was, instead of trying to sound like somebody else, there might be gurus out there that you like, different things, or you feel like I've got to blend in, or I don't want to stand out, or I'm worried about what people are going to think about me. Don't be afraid to stand out. Don't be afraid. People are actually looking for the real, the different. That's what they can connect to. And otherwise, you're just going to blend into the noise that's out there. So, a couple of like facts about social media that you may or may not be aware of that constantly keep changing, but this is as of today. But the reason why social media is so important and video is so important and video is the trend, like it or not, video is where we need to be. The reality is this, social media usage, if you want to write it down, over 5 billion users globally, spending an average of 2 hours and 26 minutes a day on social media. So the people are out there, regardless of what we think, or we think that, et cetera, the people are out there spending over. And have you ever gotten the thing on Sunday from iPhone telling you how many hours you've spent online? I will tell you mine is way above 2 hours and 46, whatever, 2 hours and 26 minutes. Okay. Video dominates. Video dominates. Video posts get 1,200% more shares than text and image content combined. So video content gets 1,200% more than text and image combined. So we're going to talk about that. If you've got a fear around that, we're going to talk about that. Because maybe you haven't had to do that in the past, and maybe what you've done before has worked. But it doesn't necessarily mean it's going to bring you into this new era, especially as we are expanding our offering and platform. Attention span, average person's attention span is now 8.25 seconds. Shorter than a goldfish. So we need to get out there. We need to get people's attention fast, get messaging across fast, even if it takes you multiple, let's say you're doing reels or video clips in your stories or whatever, multiple shorter is going to be better and more viewed. I've heard that algorithms actually, any post now with the real long, I used to be famous for the real long storytelling about the depths of my life, like that gets squished out. People don't even see that anymore. So if you're doing the long stories about other people's transformations, et cetera, it's probably not being seen by as many people as it could. Authenticity wins. 88% of consumers say authenticity is key when deciding which brands they support. And then that relevance to us as Optavia is people are craving the real transformation stories, and your personal story is always going to be the most powerful tool that you have. Your voice, your personal story is going to be the most powerful tool. So just kind of, you can use your virtual hand or raise your hand. How many of you would say that you are using video on a regular basis, on the regular? You could be doing Instagram stories, reels. Who's using it on the regular? Okay, so couple. So Meg, Kelly. All right. Vicky, this week, she's video queen. Awesome. Okay. So if you're not, let's talk about that. And it's okay to put it in the comments, right? And I think let's be real and let's be honest with each other. Like, what is your hesitation about doing video on social media? Doing a reel, doing video. What is your hesitation? Because there obviously is one. No judgment. Feeling awkward. Thank you, Brian. Oh, all right. A couple people are going to get started. Intimidating, needing to be perfect. Okay. Having to be dressed. That falls into being perfect. Not sure what to say. Was very comfortable with live, but Facebook deletes them in 30 days. Okay. So you can just get that message out, Nicole, but maybe in a different way. Having to have makeup on. There's the perfection. Okay. Figuring out what to say in 30 seconds or less. Yes. Challenging for sure. Awkward. Okay. So thank you for that, because I think there's a couple of things I think of, right, with what holds us back. I think always, and I'm going to share some really transparent stuff right now with you. So because I feel like it could be helpful. So the need to be perfect, the fear of trying new things, all of that, those are very real emotions. So what usually is what will take us out of that is when we have a clear reason that we would be like a why of like, why would it be worth it to get out of your comfort zone, to grow and learn and move into an area you're uncomfortable with now? As with anything in life, there's got to be a measurable outcome to it. Right? Why would somebody want to go on the 5-in-1? Who wants to get a box of food on their doorstep and eat 5 packaged foods a day? Those that want to lose weight, right? Those that want to get their health back, those that want to, right? Like that, there's got to be a measurable. And when I look at my years through Optavia, right? did I lose weight on the program, et cetera? Much of what my Optavia journey has been through this business opportunity and what it has done for me. And by having clear goals and clear reasons why I wanted it. So when I started, there was no social media. Right. So had to figure it out, had to figure out how Facebook worked. Then when Instagram came along, figured out how that worked, figured out how to work, do LinkedIn, and then decide what's going to be my platform. Then Facebook Lives came, right? Had to start doing and learning how to do video and be live. What drove me to that was what I wanted my outcomes to be. And so they varied through the years, right? It was, I wanted to make a little bit of money, then a lot of money. Then I saw that I really wanted to restructure and change my life, from a marriage perspective, et cetera. So I needed to be making a significant income. So I had reasons why I wanted to go bigger. I wanted a mountain house. Like there were clear things that drove me to do what I didn't want to do. And the biggest thing through all of that was when I got personal coaching and realized I needed to be very vulnerable and real and let people see the real me and what I was going through. And that would be 100% the game changer in my business. I was just made aware of this through something that corporate did for us. But what they did for leaders is they were congratulating people in certain categories of, reaching income milestones. And I have been coaching for 11 years. And this still blows me away. And I'm sweating a little bit telling you this, but I have made over $2 million with Optavia. Over $2 million with Optavia. And I will tell you 90% of that came through this personal growth and through social media and the impact that was available to me for something that cost me virtually nothing. For most years of this business, I have run my expenses, and that includes all the travel, at about 10% of my earnings. Like in a year, my expenses never exceeded usually about 10% of my of the what the revenue was. So it is a powerful tool if you are clear. So if you're not doing the things, it's very possible if we're sitting back and we're waiting for Optavia to come back. We're waiting for that next new thing that's going to push us over the edge. We're waiting for something to change to be the way it used to be. We're totally missing the boat. What's going to drive us forward is just like that day when you wake up and you get on the scale and you're like, you know what? I don't like this number anymore, and I'm going to do something about it. If you don't like where your income is right now, if you don't like where your business is, it's making that clear decision of what is it you do want, and then what are you willing to do to get there. So that's just like my personal sweaty pits message about why it's worth it. I'm figuring it out. I'm learning these new reels. I'm going to share about this tool that I learned about. I'm learning right there with you guys. And I put out a lot of stuff that I cringe when I put it out, or I look back a year later when it shows in my memories. But all I know is from the compound effect and the consistency, when we allow ourselves to be a beginner, when we allow ourselves to learn, most of the stuff that you guys wrote in the chat there, that is learned from things that were said to you from your parents, from your teachers, etc. Those are, and if you think about like a childlike learning, being able to step into something new like this and releasing those stories and saying, you know what, I have a bigger mission that I'm on. And the cool thing is if you earn that income you want, if you've whatever, it's only because you've introduced this program to people like you, right? That have changed their lives, potentially became coaches. Like that money that I earned did that, even though I wanted to do particular things with it, only happened because it impacted other people. So enough on that. I want to show you guys, consistency is always the name of the game, but mixing it up is key. So Kelly McCullough, she posted something today. It just caught my attention. And I was like, okay, other people need to see this too. I don't know if you saw Kelly's post, but I'm going to share it real quick. Kelly is a part of a networking group. And so this was her message at the networking group that was recorded that she then chose to share on social media. So Kelly, you cool if I share it? Yeah, I know she was, but all right, give me 1 second just to pull it up. let's see, let me just. Oh, I got a thumbs up from Meg. Excellent.
I'm a registered dietitian, nutritionist, and a certified health coach. You know that I help people lose fat and preserve muscle. But what are we doing when we do that? We're reversing metabolic dysfunction. What's metabolic dysfunction? It's high blood pressure, it's diabetes, it's all the things, right? It's all the stuff together. So what are we going to do to metabolic dysfunction? We are going to push it back, way back. Are y'all ready? Well, let's go. Hey, let's go. LETSGO, let's go. LETSGO. Focus for nutrition, we guide. You decide.
All right. Well done, Kelly. So that, my friends, was 37 seconds. 37 seconds. So you don't have much time in your BNI to give across a message. So you're getting pretty good at this. But Kelly, why don't you come off mute and just share about that and kind of what are you doing today to mix things up for your audience and how does that impact your business?
Well, hey, hello. Thank you. I laughed because that video was, just the person sitting next to me. I was like, hey, can you video this real quick? And it was at a bad angle, it didn't look good, but I was like, this is funny. People will think this is funny. But the wearing the cheerleading suit and stuff, my BNI group doesn't know what to expect from me. I do something, it's shock value. I do something different all the time and just within there. But that's also what I do on social media. So I'm consistent. I post daily, at least daily, on LinkedIn, Facebook, and then I do Facebook stories. And I'll also put some things on Instagram. Being consistent, that lets people know that your store is open, you're still doing something. But I use variety. So videos have been a part of what I've done for probably 2.5 years, close to 3. Every Wednesday, at least, I might do other videos, but every Wednesday I put up a video, every single Wednesday. And it started out, it was Wednesday Weight Loss Mythbusters, and it was relating to, myths about weight loss, but I've sort of morphed it. It's not just that now. And people expect to see it. The ones that follow me, especially on LinkedIn, expect to see it. They grab onto it. I use those videos. Reusing content is very important. You're creating content. You may as well make use of it in lots of places. So I also use that. I have my own personal newsletter that I send to my clients and people that I have done interest calls with that maybe didn't sign up. They get my newsletter too, or I ask them if it's okay. They usually say yes. And I put the videos in there, and then I have a little blurb about what I'm talking about and, how they can apply it. That's what my newsletter consists of. And I put a funny thing with it too, an animation with it too. But the using video is something that, I wasn't really excited about it at first. I thought, well, because I was told, oh man, you need to start doing some video. I wasn't really excited about it at first. Sometimes I think that my posts that have video in them don't go as far, but that there's a lot of people seeing them. They just may not comment on it. It depends on what platform you're on as to how your video shows up. I store my videos in YouTube. People see it in YouTube. And I don't know who those people are. I don't advertise my YouTube channel because I just store the videos there. That's all I use it for. So people aren't, not many people know about it, but the ones that do, I guess they come back. So that's something that I don't want to take up much time, but you guys, you don't have to be perfect. I do slap on some makeup because I'm 59 years old. And so they probably don't want to see me without makeup, but I do slap on some makeup and I change shirts. And a lot of times with my videos, I will record several on the same day, and I just change shirts and put on a different shirt, make it look like something different. Maybe put a different thing in my background, but go in a different part of the room, different part of the house, make it different. Go outside. Only go outside if it's not noon where you have really bright light, because that's not good, the best light. makes you look older. You don't want that. Because we want everybody to realize that we look younger, we feel younger, we are younger, we're biologically and metabolically younger than we were before. So because we're healthier, so we want them to see that. I don't know if you
Very
guys have questions, I'm happy to answer.
Well, that's awesome. Well, thank you for sharing about that, Kelly. And yeah, I've always observed your Wednesday Mythbusters, that coming out. And, the cool thing is that, Kelly has a choice. She could she's a registered dietitian. She could put her white coat on and come across as this really great expert all the time, or she can kick it up and put on a cheerleading uniform, which shows how fit she is, which shows, all of the things, and send across the same message in just a fun and different way. Now, will you see me in a cheerleading uniform? Probably not, because it's not my personality. It's not my style. Will you ever see me dance on a TikTok video? Probably not my style. But that's what my messaging is. You can come across in your style and keep up with the trends. So, I want to tell you about a tool that I learned about. Two things I'll share. It's called Becoming 3.0. I'm going to put it in the chat. Becoming 3.0 work group. This is a group that's run by Doug Wood and Dan Valentine. If you're interested in joining it, it's a Facebook group. You can ask to join. Hopefully they're still accepting new members, but this is individuals that really want to stay progressive with what's happening with metabolic health, that are agreeing that you're going to work on your own personal health. You're going to elevate yourself and elevate in these arenas as well. In this arena, I learned about a tool called CapCut. CapCut. And CapCut is a bunch of templates for reels. When I tell you guys, you can go look, I've just posted a few in the past week and a half. The templates are there. It does 90% of the work for you. My first one, if it took me 7 minutes, that would have been a lot to do. I still plan to do more, learn more, but it is an excellent way to get your messaging out there and mix it up. And a couple of the things that I will say with the templates is, and I'm going to give you a tool that I'll put with the handout for this, or with the replay of this, of crafting your story and maybe how do you come out with your first story of that. And that's going to be related to why did you become an Optavia coach? Why is this important to you? What was your story before? What did you do now? But it is important to start with a hook. And if you go into that work group, you're going to see tons of these. And if I can share some in our Facebook group, I will. And I'm going to share my screen and ask that you screenshot this because you have about 3 seconds to get somebody's attention. And these can be great, like they're called hooks, because you want to not only get somebody's attention, but you want to be able to keep their attention. So we'll talk about that. So starting it out and saying, like, a mentor once told me something that changed everything. And then you would lead into it. This might sound crazy, but it's true. What if I told you there's an easier way to lose weight, count your macros, get your blood pressure down, whatever you want to say? You won't believe how simple this is. You guys can read it, but those are some great things just to actually engage, because people are scrolling so fast, you guys. So we want to do that. The other thing is, if you're doing video, it's recommended that you change positions while you're doing it, that you want to do things, have captions flash on the screen. You want to do things that keep people's eyes on the screen and what you're doing. That you're talking about that 8-second goldfish mentality. You want things that people, so if you've watched it, like it might be, you record one video. A mentor once told me something that changed everything. And that might be while I'm sitting in my green chair downstairs. Then I might be in my kitchen and making my fueling, and I'm sharing what the next part of that is. And then I might be sitting down to eat my fueling. I've done 3 separate videos, and you clip them together with this tool, and it comes across, but you've changed positions, which makes it keeps people's attention. So kind of like Vicky's or Kelly just said, with having the different backgrounds. Yeah, Vicky, you just said you use Chat GPT for some of the Facebook hooks. So doing that, and that CapCut, it is free. It is a free template. There are a lot of free templates. Or if you want a more expanded version, I think it's $89 for the year. And when I looked at that, when I told you about what the cost of this business is marketing, I was like, hey, for less than $10 a month, I could have a marketing tool to help me. So again, am I putting out reels every single day? No, but I'm doing them several times a week now just to get my voice out there. And trust me, I'm just as insecure about it all as you guys are. I purposely did one the other day with no makeup and post gym with the wiry hair just to make myself do it. So I got a lot of feedback. So questions, feedback on that. And if you want, we can dive more into this in the future as well, because I got about through half of what I wanted to.
If I can add something I learned, feedback that it was given to me, was, it was told, you know, you want to make sure you're captioning, so you can do those captioning apps to make sure that it's captioned, because you don't want, the social media captioning to be the captioning, because it messes it up. You want to be able to do yours, and you want to be able to make it different, you know, for whatever you want. But also there was something else I was going to tell you and I forgot. I'll think of it later. Go ahead.
Okay. Great tips. And Julie asked, have you had more people reach out? What I will say is it's too early to tell, right? It's too early to tell. Patience is the name of the game these days, you guys, especially if you're trying something new. If you do a couple reels and then you're like, oh, didn't change a thing. It's that impatience is the difference between like your reality and maybe what you're creating. So I wouldn't take it as such a measurable, but what social media is begging for right now, from what I understand, Julie, is engagement. Like you're going to get more of an audience with engagement. So the more that you can do that poses a question, that gets people to say right on, do something in the comments, even controversy, like that sort of thing is going to push it out more. So again, your first reels may not get a whole lot of viewing until you start developing a style and getting the feedback on it. All right. I have I'm going to put this story making
Quick
tool
thing.
in
I
there.
remembered what
Yeah.
I was going to say. That, you know, you don't have a lot of time. So the best thing to do is to get to the point. Because some people hop on and they're like, hey, how are you? You know, the weather is this. No, they don't care. Nobody cares what the weather is where you are. Just jump to the point of what you're the communication that you want to make, the point you want to make.
That is so true. I was guilty of saying like, hey, it's been a minute since I've been out here, you know, whatever. Just go with it. And again, you can even practice. I know, Meg, you're doing a great job just showing up in stories. You want to talk about that just for a second? Even
Yeah.
though it's not all specific to this.
Yeah, I just, man, and today I should have done a story and I didn't. I mean, once you start doing them, it's easy to think of ones, and I get great feedback from people. And what is really great about it is you have lots of old clients. If you've been coaching for any length of time, they're watching you. And so even if it's not necessarily a health related post, old clients all the time will comment on my random post about or random story, and they will say, oh, you know, they'll start a side conversation about Optavia. So it's been really helpful. But yeah, I think anything that like today I went and got more propane for my propane tanks, and like there's a whole process, and it could have been a story and I would have helped people and I didn't even think of it. So there's so many. I mean, it doesn't need to, the short ones are the best, but just putting your cute self out there and, you know, reminding people that you're human and, you know, I don't know. I just think it's a great thing to do.
And thank you for that reminder. I mean, think about what attracts you to follow somebody. Like I follow a lot of influencers and stuff, and I'll watch their stupid videos about get ready with me. Like, you know what I mean? It has nothing to do with the products they sell, but yeah, I'm watching them with their hair pulled back in the headband, and I'm just curious and I'm nosy and maybe a voyeur. I don't know. I'm curious. I watch Meg's stories. I'm like, what's Meg doing today? You know, so people want to see you, and that's part of how you do the authenticity. So let's not make it all just about any reel you do. Like one of the reels I did was just my vacation pictures. It was just a quick way to put them all out there. So, but just being out there because people are seeing it, it also offers the opportunity. You can see people that are watching your stories. It might prompt you to maybe that's a person that you initiate a conversation with. When we talk about doing, you know, starting new conversations, and like I said, or if people like or comment on it, like I've taken those things and said, hey, thanks for liking my story. You know, it made me realize we have not touched base in a long time. How are you? It just gives you an in as well too to take it to that next step, which is we always know we can't be sitting waiting for more people to reach out to us, but using these tools is to connect with people, to connect. So All right, very good, you guys. I will be at Sundance next week at the Opportunity Summit, actually before Sundance, hopefully gathering more info. They say more will be revealed, so I'm excited about that. Meg will be with us on Team Time leading next week, and then I'll be back with you in 2 weeks to talk about that. So, all right, if you guys post a reel or something, let me know. I want to be out there so I can cheer you on with it. All right, see you guys.